chop. Deploying flashbang.
morning, Paul. Very well. First game of the major.
You kidding me? He's only getting warmed up. We aren't in full swing yet here. He's a little rusty. He's got to brush him up a little bit, but once he gets back into it, I think we'll be fine.
You can tell he's been living on like in San Francisco for a while. The sun just getting to him is just fried his brain, hasn't it?
This is where you can tell like you've never been in San Francisco though, because there's like no sun in San Francisco.
It was sunny when I was there. One day's experience. Go on, tell me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Very much. We are ready here with the first game. First game of the major. Feels really good, doesn't it? It's been such a long time coming.
Yeah, no, that's the thing, man. There was a time when we had 3 majors a year. Now it looks like we have 2.
Yeah.
Long wait. It was January, the E-League major. That was the last one that actually went down. Astralis won it. And now we get to see, can they defend their crown? I know that you're going to be cheering for them.
Maybe I will. Maybe I will. It's too sensitive. Yes.
Yeah.
No, but this is very exciting, and I think there are so many unknowns. This whole group stage format is so crazy, and you know, with teams like Gambit and the Mouse Sports in the best of 1 format, I don't know how to call it. I think it's going to be crazy. We've got a bit less intel on Gambit, as the desk are pointing out. They were there legends, so they came in from sort of straight here, whereas obviously Mouse Sports, we've seen them play quite a bit recently.
And I think that's going to favor Mouse Sports, to be fair. I mean, the fact that they've had a few more lands to iron out the kinks, that gives Chris J more opportunity for experience as well, seeing as how he's the one calling the shots on the team, so it lets him get a little bit more comfortable. We've seen a very good Dennis recently, which was very interesting, considering him and Speedy were basically the punching bags for the team when Nico was on there. As far as, you know, well, I mean, Fifth can commiserate, right? You know, Fifth will be there to give Dennis a hug every now and again. It's like, I know. But I think sports right now, they've had more lands, and so they're more experienced. It's going to be up to Gambit to prove themselves.
It's always very dangerous when you end up sort of not playing too much, but it sort of worked out for Flip.
Yeah.
They just ignored everything, went in and made their way through the qualifier, which is sort of crazy. And honestly, I don't know, I think Seuss is hard-working in-game leader. I feel like he's going to have a lot prepared. I actually think this format is a format that works really well. Studying Mouse Sports so much before the game actually happens, and I think they're going to be lethal in this game. I think so. I think they're going to be really dangerous. And remember, since you brought it up, you talked about sort of the E-League major and everything. Remember how Adren was playing through like some of that stuff, how good he was, right?
He is pretty much like the one consistent. Yeah. Well, they have Adren and Hobbit. Hobbit, right? And those are, if those guys don't turn up, Gambit is just going to be dead in the water as far as I'm concerned. But then again, both of those players are so good at showing up. Adren is he's just delivered over and over and over again. So you always feel like you can count on him. But he's really going to be the linchpin for the team.
No, I think you're right, and we'll see how it all pans out. They were very friendly with each other.
Yeah.
And not too much banter going on when the coaches were talking. But I still think it's going to be interesting. Obviously, everything is on the line here, and we are going to be on Inferno for the first map of the PGL Major. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Mouse Sports versus Gambit on Inferno, and Sapphire is doing our in-game or something. I love that they put that in there. It's really great. Her and DJ do an amazing job. So you want to see them every time, pretty much.
Pretty much the premier duo now when it comes to observing. So I'm glad to see that yet again they're here at the major. They were also handling it back at E-League as well. But Mouse Sports and Gambit starting us off. Inferno, classic map, most played map according to Red Eye. And so, you know, good on him doing the stats. But more importantly, that this is a new map, and it's played fairly differently from what we've seen in the past. And it looks like the X-God has already been laid low, Anders.
Yeah, apparently. Brief moment of disconnect before we actually get it live. That's fair enough. You don't want to start with any kind of issues. If there are going to be any, you prefer them to be before the game goes live. As a general rule, once someone has taken damage, that means the game is officially live and it's too late to sort of cancel anything out. But no one had, so that's good news. Gambit starting on the T side as well. Mouse Sports on the CT side. Very curious how this will play out. I think Moses was bringing up a good point in saying that so much of it comes down to the economy. We've seen CT side struggle on this map if they don't have money to buy everything they need.
Well, that is kind of just like a standard, right? The rule
Yeah.
is CT side, you need to actually get money to buy the incendiaries. And that's what's going to be so important here, in particular on Inferno CT, is mid control. You can get the early HEs into mid if you want to be clever on the CT side, but more importantly, it's all about banana control. And that nade game, it's like layer on layer of meta over there now on timings for HEs, on timings for incendiaries. Are you smoking bottom banana, or are you going to try and control top banana? I mean, all of these teams, they actually have all sorts of different timings, which makes it really fun to watch CT side Inferno right now. Is, you know, how are the CTs trying to deal with that nade game over there on that side of the map? I think it's much less important on the A side of things.
No, you're absolutely right. And it seems like it hasn't really settled yet. You know, people have different sort of opinions about how to do it. I've got my own strong opinions about how people should be playing it. And I routinely get pretty frustrated at watching people play Inferno, actually. But in like a good way, I think it's very interesting. And I love seeing how it develops. We did actually see during the actual major qualifier how differently teams play on A side now that we're talking top mid. I think actually Mouse Sports was one of the teams that were more aggressive, whereas a lot of teams are holding really far back. Like, they're all the way back in the A-bomb side. As far as I remember, Mouse Sports were a bit further up, and they were playing like close to Arch, close to Quad, trying to shut that down.
Well, kind of how it's supposed to be played back in the day, right? I mean, back in the day, right? How you used to play is you challenged mid, and you'd set up multiple points to fall back to along your way as CT, right? You're holding Arch side, you're holding the corner looking into mid. Okay, they come around that corner, you fall back to Arch, you fall back to the library corner. Okay, right? You know, there's like step by step by step, you fall back, but you're getting information the entire time. And you're right, Anders, I think teams right now, perhaps because they aren't quite as settled on the map yet, they haven't figured everything out, they're not feeling comfortable playing that mid-information game, and so they just default into a very passive way of holding, which allows for the T side to just basically have full map control right off the bat. That's not what you want to do. You need to be challenging them. You need to be actually trying to play for that information.
Yeah, I agree, and it can't be that people have forgot. I think it's just that it's a bit more difficult holding apartments now, and so when people don't have control of that, they feel like they can't control quad anymore, and then, you know, they just sort of fall further and further back. I think that's super risky, but we'll see how it plays out. I'm really interested to see how Mouse Sports will approach this, and I'm really looking. I think watching any of Zeus teams is so much fun. I'm always a big fan of it, and here it comes. The game is live, and we're going to see what happens. Dennis making his way towards the middle, probably just for a quick spot. Can he make the jump to second mid? That's really smart. This is really low risk and really high reward. So is this shot from Oscar. A second headshot as well, taking down Hop, but now we're officially live.
Yeah, action is in. Chris has gotten tagged down, but that's not the end of the world here, because Oscar, you know, we talked a lot about the heavy hitters on Gambit, but I mean, Oscar in the major qualifier, he had some insane rounds that where he just showed up and laid low everybody in his way, and so he is going to be one of the players that you need to keep an eye on here if you're a Mouse Sports fan, if you're looking for Mouse Sports to win. A lot of this is going to come down to him and Robs.
Don't know why he's still challenging. That doesn't make a lot of sense. You're playing at 5 versus 3, and it's a best-of-1 game, so just fall back and play it safe. Let them try and figure out how to get into a bomb site. 2 men stacked in pit as well is such a safe and strong defense from A, so I actually love this setup from Mouse Sports. I think this is a really good call.
Quick rotate possible from Lowell, and he's got the kit as well.
Yeah. And that's super important, obviously. So, yeah, I think they're pretty much in the perfect position here. 40 seconds for Gambit to try and make their way through. They've put in the smoke, so they're definitely committed. Going to try and make their way in as Chris lands on a Dren. Su's trying to get the bomb. Cancel it for the moment. He's going to get one more frag in. And can he actually get the bomb plan? This would be huge right now for Gambit. 5 versus 3 into a 1-on-3 with the bomb down. That's not bad at all.
Did they spot the gun? I think they did. Yeah. And so he's kind of pinned in here. Facing 3 players. We'll find it. No, Rops! Headshot on Lowell. The team kill coming through. And Zeus, he realizes they have to close quarters. He wants some more bullets in the gun. Unfortunately, he forgets to reload it, but it doesn't matter. Rops hits the headshot anyway. But you got a bit of a picture there of Oscar. Man who started Mouse Sports off very strong here in their first map of the major. But that's what he does. And Anders, you're right. Why is he challenging top banana again at the beginning? But that's just Oscar. Oscar is an aim-driven, just duel-driven kind of player.
Yes.
He wants to get in there. He's always looking for fights. Even when it may hurt his team, he's still looking for fights. And that's his quality, is that sometimes it actually works out for him. He pulls the crazy play.
What a hero as well, saving Chris. That's a 3rd headshot for Oscar in that round. And Chris survived on 11 health, and he got the headshot when they actually entered the B-bomb site. So even on 11 health, you know, still there and still obviously, yeah, lethal. So what a way to get started. AK-47 has been picked up in Adren. That's crazy. You get the bomb plant down, traditionally speaking, you're going to be saving until you can get the AKs in the third round, but Gambit, they're putting on the pressure and stepping it up right away. I'm really interested in how this will work out. Hobbit, going to lose that fight early on. But Adren, what can he give us here?
It's fun to see that it's Zeus who's taking the hit as well for this AK. Down to $150. He's going to go with the Tech 9 in the next round.
Look at this. This is what we have seen really rarely on this new version. He's going to win the battle against Chris, but now Mousesports know this boost used to be insanely popular, and people do it with the AWP on top, but we have almost not seen it on this new version, so it's great that we finally do. Stealing the FAMAS. Doja has body armor as well. This is doable. This could be done.
Absolutely, this can. Because they've kind of skimped. It's Lowell with an MP9. He does have the rotate coming in from Oscar, but Oscar has the UMP. A little bit more confident in the UMP up close. But with these AKs, we're seeing some of Zeus's old style as well, right? There we go. We get that start. Now we're just going to run down that clock, wait and see if Mousesports are going to make the play for information. Then we can punish that. But now it's starting to get to the point where 30 seconds left, and Zeus is once again in his element, executing onto a site with very little time left on the clock.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This is the kind of Counter-Strike that we really expect out of him. Doja swapped in for the AK instead. We're down to 15 seconds. So little time. Zeus will pick up one kill, and Robs is now hiding. Great turnaround and picking up Zeus. Jump up on that kill. Doja gets a headshot, but it isn't enough. They've done a lot of damage, but eventually they're going to lose the round anyway.
Where's the AK?
Did he not pick it up?
He didn't save it?
I don't think he did. Oh, he didn't. That's such a shame. Did it fall underneath the cart or something?
Yeah, it looks like it. It looks like there's some unfortunate turn of events there that meant that he couldn't actually pick up that AK. Get CSGO'd, bro. Oh, that sucks. Because, I mean, you literally just got gifted. It's like a party favor, the best one. Here, we forced with an AK. We didn't actually win the round, so you get to keep it now. That's so frustrating, especially in the hands of Oscar, who's hitting headshots left and right on CT side. Triple nade down in. Yes, but then they choose to run right into it. Mo sprays down Dennis, and the nades just go sailing off.
This is such an aggressive and powerful early buy for Gambit. They got 3 kills in the last round. They only bought on 2 of their players with armor and 1 AK, which means they can still sort of make this round work. I mean, it's a Galil and it's a UMP and a little bit more, but this is just fine. It's a way better buy than the one Mousesports has.
Yeah, because Mousesports thought that they full bought last round.
Yeah.
They thought that they forced last round. And so they're like, oh yeah, anti-eco farm, let's go with the SMGs, make some money. Oh wait, they have rifles. We fell right into it. Great trap set from Gambit, and Mousesports walk right into it face first. Man advantage now for Gambit, and this is really going to favor them. They still have a decent number of nades to work with as well. 2 smokes still in play, so they can go for that B execute.
Bit of a deep grenade. Not going to tag anyone. Chris playing alone close with a UMP. That's great headshot to begin.
Perfect.
That's a lot of damage to Susan. Yeah, this is that's very important. If he goes down, you wonder if the B bomb side isn't just going to almost fall immediately.
And then they get the boost up as well. So if you want to go for this, oh, Oscar gets caught out in the open. This is going to be the big opportunity here for Rops, and sure enough, he will not. Can he get the follow-up? Yes, he can, and now he just needs to stay alive. Man advantage for Mousesports. Rotation coming in from the B side, but that's all good because as long as Rops stays alive here, it's a thorn in Gambit's side, and they're going to have to deal with him eventually.
Bomb is finally going to be going down. Mousesports feel like now it's the time to strike. Robs missing a chance for a kill, but it does leave Zeus on just in the pit, and he's going to get taken down by Lowell. That's very smart, and it's a good job on Mousesports to wait until they hear that bomb plant sound, because Gambit wasn't really in a position to fake that too much. So you got to appreciate that. Some really tough rounds early on here.
Well, that's where Zeus's style can come back to bite you. If you're running the clock down low every round, well, Mousesports are going to start getting used to that. They're going to start saving their utility until later into the round. They're going to start playing for the late game, right? Air quotes. But also, if things go south, like Rops killing 2 of your guys and then staying alive, you don't have much time to maneuver. You have to get that bomb planted, right? You can't just waste another 20 seconds waiting for the rotator or hunting somebody down. You're really trying to get that bomb down to have time to work with. So, very quick thinking on his feet there from Rops. He played that situation perfectly, I think. And it's a 3-0 lead now for Mousesports on the CT side. Double op and play here as well for the CTs.
What a heavy investment from our sports to begin with, but it pays off just fine as Mo was trying to lurk away down there. That shot probably wasn't as easy as it looked with the X-ray on. I suspect from Oscar's point of view, there was a bit less to see. So it's a pretty good shot after all, and he's really mobile, moving up into apartments as well. So Gambit, see how they do in this fourth round. They've put so much pressure on Mouse Sports early on here, but now they're starting to run out of money. Even with the bomb plant, it's not quite good enough.
Yeah, they've gone for the full. What they're hoping for here is just the bomb. But I think it's going to be a half buy regardless in the next round, even with the bomb plant in this sort of round. You're not quite getting max money yet. And really, I think do you want to get that AWP in play for Mo? Do you want to start having full nades, the Molotovs, the smokes, everything for a clean execute that you've practiced? These are the kinds of questions that Zeus has to be asking himself, and you're still very early on in the half. I don't see any reason to just keep forcing. You have time to work with here.
I think what could happen is they get lured into a sense of where they have to keep forcing because all the rounds keep going down to 1-on-2s, right? So every time Mouse Sports survive with 2 members, Gambit make the calculation and say, well, they've got no money, let's just go for it, right? And that's true, but if you don't win in the rounds, then yeah, you're right. You can't really have perfect T rounds.
Well, here's going to be the opening shot from Chris. Not going to miss it. Easy as pie. Looking for the follow. And the pressure is there. Where is his teammate? Lowell dropping the ball. It's not going to be good enough. He gets caught by Doja now.
I think he was boosted up, but the smoke was blocking him. That's so unfortunate. Now Dennis gonna hit a shot, and Oscar will take down Adren. Robs will fall to Zeus. Oh, sorry, Zeus will fall to Robs, and that will be the end of it. Mouse Sports now with a 4-0 lead, and this time they survive with 3 members alive. That's a really big change. It might not seem like a lot, but that's the beginning of real economy on the Mouse Sports side. Gambit don't get the bomb plant down, and yeah. What are they going to do? Buy some Tech 9, some armor? It looks like it.
Oh, that's painful for Mouse Sports, though. They don't succeed in saving Chris J's op. And so that was actually a very expensive round for Mouse Sports. So they save Oscar's because he survives, but they weren't able to make it to the back of the site fast enough to pick up Chris's. And so he has to tap into his bank. You can see he's left on $50. Whereas over on Gambit's side of things, well, it is going to be that save. So Kevlar, some Tech 9s, a couple of nades on Zeus, quickly into apartments. Shot, trying to bait it out. Dennis holding it. And he will eventually get the spray. Headshot wallbang on Adren.
This is very interesting. Hobbit actually hasn't killed anybody yet either, and we're sort of talking about him as one of the potentials to really have an impact for Gambit. He has not had a good start to this game. That's obviously a problem. Chris, with the flick, he did hit that shot. All right, through the wall. There's no reason why they should take any risks at all right now. Again, Mouse Sports just save all the weapons. If you have a flawless round here, that will obviously be a problem.
Well, I want Zeus to call a timeout here after this round. You have 4 30-second timeouts. You get one in play. Right now, it's going to be the big key round here at the beginning of the half. We're going to start moving into the half of it. And so, there we go. And this is just a turkey shoot. Low will eventually go down, but that's all right. But now's the time if you go for a timeout if you're Gambit. Because you get the full buy finally. You have 6,000 on move. You're going to have all of your nades and everything you want to do here. So, I mean, take the extra 30 seconds to discuss and figure out where you're going to go with this. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen, Anders. Doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Something interesting to think about here now that Mo has the AWP picked up is that Oscar and Chris, but more so Oscar, has been really showing that he wants to take the fight.
Yeah.
So there's a good chance that the T side here can actually get that fight early on.
Down
the middle as well. Dennis with the refrag, and Doja's there. It's just an all-out brawl, and Chris to finish off Hobbit, and it's a 3-on-3.
Chaos. I don't know, man. That's just chaos. That's a BDP right there. To just say, you know what, CT, we know they full buy, and we're just going to charge mid anyway. Mouse Sports are trying to just completely mess with Gambit's head right now. They do not want to let Gambit hit their stride whatsoever. When you think that you're going to get a nice and easy round, Zeus, no, actually we're just going to turn it into a chaotic situation where you're not going to know how to react. Luckily, the team flashes actually cost Mouse Sports an extra player there. I think it was Robs who just got caught. He was flashed, he got caught in the back. Unfortunately, that could have been an even better situation for Mouse Sports.
A bit scary at this point in time here. Gambit down 5-0. They need to find a way to pick up a round and put the pressure back on the Mouse Sports team. Oscar at a bit of an off angle inside of that bomb site. At least he was holding a bit further out. That's more of the standard kind of setup. But yeah, I think makes sense to try and hold that off angle just because you know you're going to get probably smoked off. He's going to jump on top of the smoke instead to try and challenge it for the moment. If he does it now, Mo is waiting for it. Sees the gun barrel, almost takes it down. Bomb is going to be planted. Zeus with a headshot through the smoke. And with 20 seconds, it's going to be a 2-on-3 for the retake.
Perfectly done, and Mo is going to be able to spot Lowell jumping in through CT as well. Chris not going to have anything to do with this. And the money, it is still all right on Mouse Sports. They will get a good buy going into the next round. But Chris needs to save this AWP, make sure he backs off, and we'll see if he actually hands it over to Oscar or not.
Yeah, very important, I think, that they save this just one gun, because Lowell is a bit low on money, but everyone else is, is in a position where they could still buy, so definitely important.
I'm glad to see that from Zeus, however. Usually you're going to go to the B site, right? You know, you're going to go to the smaller site. I mean, one guy holding there. He's got the 3. He grouped his guys up. He didn't leave a lurker or anything like that. He was like, we just group as 3 and we bum rush the site. And it was a perfect call. It works out.
The fish lost Semler. They're all exploded.
The thing is that, you know, those fish being so close exploded. Were there fish to begin with, Anders? Because there's not going to be anything left.
Fish soup. I think Moses was trying to point that out during the last tournament, so we'll keep that alive for the moment. But yeah, that's actually a flawless execute from them. They don't lose anybody. It's a 3-on-3. They finished, you know, all 3 members alive. So that's big news for Gambit. That's also a bit of confidence being built. You don't want to have a slow start in the major tournament. And with this Swiss format, it's so hard to make your way through. Like, it's really brutal. So yeah, I'm curious how it'll play out now for Mouse Sports. We do have the tactical timeout being called for them just to try and settle everything down, slow it down, make sure no one gets panicked at all. And they still have the double open to play.
Yeah, I'm pretty interested in the fact that Mouse Sports, this is becoming their go-to strategy. This is the first tactical timeout here used by Mouse Sports, not by Gambit, so Zeus benefits.
They bought an MP7 too many.
I don't know why people are buying the MP7. I guess because of the accuracy, the run and gun accuracy on it. It's pretty good. But I mean, UMP, MP9, pretty much the only 2 SMGs you should be buying.
It's going to be people who want to argue with you about that.
Well, sure, they can, but it's cost too much. The MP7 costs too much versus like when you have the MP9 or the UMP, why would you spend even more money on an MP7?
Yeah. With a good spray on one, but not enough to get the second kill. Hobbit now being put into play, and it's about time that we see him do a bit more here in the first half. Rops off on the railing, just waiting. Picking at the same time, he overpeaks the corner. Hobbit gets the kill. Goes down, and Oscar's going to fail it. Hobbit with a third of the round. Took him a while, but he's finally here. It's looking really good. Mo to pick off Lowell, holding it with the bomb all the way back there. Imagine if he goes down instead, but he doesn't, and now Chris has moved all the way up onto the side. It's a 1 versus 2. I don't think they can guess that he's here.
Yeah, I don't think they spotted this.
No, this is an incredibly unlikely position. Might not have. I don't think they will have heard the scoping either, so this can actually work for Chris.
He's spotted. The game is up. Wallbang down to 9 HP as well. Terrific damage, misses the shot, and now he's stuck. Mo, Hobbit, you're the sacrificial lamb. It's not going to matter. He will survive in the end. Managed to get that kill on Chris J. But Mo not wasting a second. You know where Chris is? Great. He's stuck on the A site. Instantly rotates off. Takes the bomb towards B. Smart play coming in from Gambit. That has allowed them to chain 2 rounds together here in the T side.
Break the Mouse Sports economy, and I think what we just saw is a prime example of how disciplined the Gambit team is. Because I actually think most people, because they know Chris is playing the B-bomb side, once they get all those kills, Hobbit opens it up with a triple, you just go and plant the bomb right away, you know, just run up, get that bomb down. But they clearly sort of said, we don't know where he is, just slow down. Don't do anything until we know. And then when they found out, you're right, they even tried to put the bomb over at B instead. So that's wonderful. That's very good to see. And now it's 5-2. And Zeus knows they don't have any armor.
Woo. Nice. ATM. Mo doesn't even let a teammate take it. No assist here. Claims the kill for himself. He wants those eco frags. Zeus with the MAC-10, of course, wants to do the same. Build a little bit more of that economy for himself. And this is just going to be the run and gun here onto the B site. They're figuring it out, that this isn't the stack. And that they should be able to just walk onto the site now and get the bomb plant.
Yeah, and it's so risk-free with the MAC-10 leading the charge. Like, you've got no worry at all. You see Zeus doing a fine job, just checking all the angles. it's going to be an easy enough line. I wish Doja would follow up with the rest of the team just so that they can never lose the AK down there at the bottom of Banana. But ultimately, this is all going according to plan here for Gambit. Suddenly, this first half is looking very open. Oh, that's a nice headshot. Lol, taking a kill.
It kind of makes me sick to see ops, though, getting kills in anti-ecos, right, Anders? Because, I mean, like, if you invested in, like, the SMG,
Yeah.
Mac 10, right? Or even a rifle, or a pistol, right? You're getting $300, you're getting $600, and then you got the op that gets a kill in an anti-eco, but you only just made $100, man. You know, like, maybe leave it for Zeus to find that kill in CT, because he's hunting right now, you know? Let him get that money. But hey, man, stats.
I was worried about that AK getting lost down there, and it just did. They can't really catch him either, so unless they know a really good wall bang through that wall with the AWP, which is possible. But that's a big slip up if you're on Gambit's side, giving away. I mean, it's not so bad that Zeus goes down. Maybe it's a bit annoying that he gets to save the Molotov and the Mac 10.
Right.
But it's that AK that's definitely an issue.
Is he really going to hold on to the Mac 10?
Yeah, I probably, why not? Like, I mean, it just as long as you play the right position, that can work. But what I really hope happens, yeah, is that they go aggressive with it.
He plays B, so I mean, you've got some close angles to hold. But it's like the Mac 10. I don't know. It feels like just a little bit of a risk when he has 2,000.
Just let Chris flash him in. You know, go to the corner and then let Chris set up for a flashbang. But instead, they are going to fall all the way back. And we'll see. 9th round is coming up. Gambit have won 3 in a row after the initial tyranny of Mouse Sports. We've got a much more passive setup this time for the CT side, except for Oscar, who's playing forward with the UMP. The other two are playing towards the pit.
He's just waiting for that go signal to get that incendiary down. Just waiting. There are the nades, and there's incendiary. Very quick. It is going to buy a little bit of time here. Right on the edge, stopping that approach. But Adren just goes barely. Boiler up short, straight onto the site. Chris with an instant headshot, though. Finds the opening pick here from Mouse Sports. Mouse Sports haven't taken a single point of damage yet.
Stacked on the bomb side. Finally, Susan hopping up on the box. It's going to get knocked out as well. Zeus with a great opening, wrapping around, and Hopper to take down Lowell. That looked like such an unlikely. First of all, it's out of Gambit's style. They pushed at 1 minute and 10 seconds, but they also pushed into a 4-man stack. You're supposed to lose every time.
Chris had a great headshot there to start things off, but losing that fight versus Zeus, I think that's the key moment, the turning point. It's these chaotic situations, Anders, where anything can happen. Zeus getting so quick up to library, catching the first guy for free, and then winning the duel versus Chris. I mean, you got to give it to Zeus. Big performance from him. And that is going to hurt Mouse Sports, but a little bit of a negative smoke here, and there's the shot. Oscar, though, again, not going to hit the flick. A little bit of frustration, you can see it. The head shake from him. He's not happy about that. This is another opportunity to give this team a strong opening. Instead, it's Hobbit finding the headshot on Chris. And now, we're looking with gas here. Gambit, they could just press onto the B side. They know they have an opening.
It's really remarkable to see Hobbit coming back inside. Hard individually as a player. If you have a bad start, usually people end up doing it in the second half, because then they have some time to breathe. But Hobbit, he was quiet for the first 5 rounds, and then boom, 7 kills on him right now. And these openings are so good. It really makes a big difference. And Mouse Sports, look at the gamble they're taking. They're saying, listen, we're not going to be able to defend this having 2 on either bomb side, not with this weaponry and not with the lack of grenades. We're going to have to go for the stack.
I like this a lot. Multiple flashes are going to go sailing in. Very clean execute here so far. Dennis, however, not going to spot back. Yes, he is. Drops right on top of him, but he loses. In the meantime, not going to get lucky through the smoke. Maybe with the spray.
Oh, what a shot! Let's go right in the open, taking down Zeus as he was planting, but in the end, Adren just comes charging through, and even with the stack, Mouse Sports are still going to lose the round. That could have been something there. If Oscar had managed to get back after that shot, if he could have got far enough back into the rims, that would have been interesting. 5 for 5 now. Scoreline is all tied up, moving into the 11th round, and Mouse Sports economy. I mean, it's almost like the panelists know what they're talking about. They were talking about this, whole CT economy.
Kind of important. I mean, you lose rounds, and now this is just that half-buy situation now for Mouse Sports. I think if they force here, they're really giving Gambit the chance. But if you let Gambit get up onto 6 rounds, then you get your buy. If this double op strategy is really key for you, you need to have as much money as possible to make that work. It's a very risky strategy. And so, well, not sure who took the timeout here.
I think it would have been, I think it actually was maybe a technical thing. I think Lowell lost his sound as far as I can tell.
No, okay, it's a technical.
Yeah. So we'll get that cleared right up, and then everything should be good. Actually, it's already fixed. Who are these PGL admins that just snap of the finger somewhere and they're on it? It's good work.
It's almost like they run tournaments all the time.
You just feel like it, doesn't it?
Like it's a well-oiled machine over here.
Hobbit is going to stick on the Mac 10, which is alright, but they do have body armor on Mousesport's side, so they've sort of invested a bit into this round. Mousesports. Are you okay with this? I'm okay with this.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Like, this is what they need to do. If they're going to go for the double AWP, they need to just be willing to take a round in the teeth here. They give themselves a chance to do some damage and, you know, maybe win. They're going to be prepared. Come on, Chris. Took it a little bit of time there to finally get the kill, but they have the man advantage, and they got the info. Quick rotate over, and Rop's holding aggressive in Palace and Apartments. It actually works for once.
You just have to love watching Rob's play. Like, he's very young and his aim is so crisp right now. You can just tell no hesitation at all in getting that frag and putting Gambit in a bit of a strange position. They still have the weapon advantage, but they're in a 4-on-3, and now Dennis is getting closer with the CSET 75. Back at that bomb site, Chris J with that Mac 10, he might be the guy to actually hold this and keep it alive, and smartly using the 5-7 as well.
Yes, and he just needs to sit tight. Let his teammates work. Because they're still low over on the A side, but he's holding passive graveyard. They have very little information to go off of here right now, Mousesports, except that, well, Gambit, they've infiltrated CT. So they can still swing B or A.
Yeah.
Adrian is just, all he's waiting for is for somebody to peek on his B side.
Oh man, look at the thought that's going on from Gambit's point of view. They know that it's really risky rushing onto that B bomb side. That's probably what they wanted. Now they are eventually going to have to do it. Grenade comes in. Chris is gone. He saw that he hit the shot. He saw it. Even hit Dren. He's going to get that kill. Mo with the refrag on Rops, and now the bomb is going to be going down for a 2-on-2 here. Very hard for Lowell and Dennis to do anything about it. Mo almost getting caught. That could have been the moment.
That was it, but they have recovered the AK. Now Dennis instantly swapping to it, but there's the first pick. Lowell trying to slow walk his way in, hoping for the backstab, hoping for Dennis to draw too much attention to himself and give him the opening. Instead, it's now Dennis in a 1v2. Caught in a crossfire. He's got a kid, but they're going to peek him together. Dren went first, but his teammate Mo wasn't far behind. And now Gambit had the lead. Still, that was a round of eco for Mousesports. And they succeeded in doing quite a bit of damage there.
That was a very good job, but it's also a great job from Gambit to, like, once you get into CT spawn, I can guarantee you the pressure is on to do something. Like, the whole team is going to be, sort of the jitters are going to be there. It's like, come on, we need, like, you know, and Susha slows it down. It's like, no, let's just hold, like, right now, we're actually just defending CT spawn for a long time. And then eventually they see the opening. It's just very smart. Again, very disciplined. You have to appreciate that the team is so structured. Like, there's no doubt that everyone is listening to Sush right now. 6 and 5. They've won 6 rounds in a row here, Gambit. That's impressive.
Once they've taken control of that economy, Mousesports, they're fighting hard to get it back, but Gambit are just not cooperating right now. And once again, moving into Apartments, but also makes the aggressive angle, and he will find the shot on the edge of the smoke. Loving to see this.
By the way, that corner that Oscar is standing in is exactly where the bullets land if people start wallbanging. So that's a huge risk if he's just sort of lingering there for a long time.
But this is the thing, when you hardly ever see CTs holding aggressive because of those wallbangs, then it almost becomes a benefit for the CTs because they're just not going to expect anybody to be holding there. So now maybe you start wallbanging again, you hold somewhere else, you give up Palace. The mind games, they're real. But that's bought a lot of time here. We're down to 45 seconds already in this clock.
Oh. Rops is going to sneak his way through, and he had a bit of backup up top as well, so 2 opening frags, and a third one for good measure. Chris J in the B-bomb site, Doja and Seuss. Doing damage would be really valuable right now. Seuss is low. They get the kill on Oscar at least. That's a good frag.
They're doing some damage here. There's still a chance. 19 seconds. Chris still alive. Spots out Doja, boosted over the smoke, and he's still Lowell alive as well. As soon as Zeus pushes you on this corner, he should be going down, but it doesn't matter. Chris will go for the peak quick enough to find the shot. And so Mousesports, they've tied it up 6-6. They finally end the streak. But there's plenty of money to buy here for Gambit, and so the pressure is still on 3 rounds left in this first half. And who's going to come out ahead?
Mouse Sports can't let it go now. If they lose this next round, then it's a lot of trouble for them. Chris is looking tuned in as well. This is the sort of Chris that everybody likes to watch. A very good triple kill in the round for him as well. A lot of AKs, no AWP this time on the Gambit side, but so many smokes and Molotovs as well. It's going to be interesting. Lots of positions you could probably Molotov on this map that people haven't found out yet.
But look at the aggression from Dennis up in Palace. Oh no, is he boosted on short again? Yeah, okay, he's boosted up on short. I was about to say, like, again you're going Palace. This is starting to get a little bit on the edge here. But this is, you see how passively like Adren and Doja are working their way through Palace now because of, through AAPs, right? Because of the aggression from Mouse Sports now, Gambit can't take it for granted that this is going to be free. Now they actually have to peek around the corners and waste just a little bit more time checking.
Oscar's got the boiler angle. Duran just a couple of steps from losing his life. Instead, with the shot, Dennis with a great triple spray down, knocking out Adrenmo and Hobbit. And Seuss finally with a refrag. It might not have been enough here. He might have done everything he needed to. Doja coming in with a one shot on Oscar. And that Molotov not going to hit Lowell this time. Flashbang as well. Can Lowell stop the plant? He actually can't.
Well, this favors Gambit now. This is a Gambit situation. They have the counter set up, and sure enough, those are going to catch Chris J. Lowell, 1v2, and he's getting caught. But the shot on one, not the second. Zeus just decides to peek, be bold, take the fight, look for it. Like, what is going on with Oscar? He is missing shots now with the AWP. He dies doing no damage there. You got to wonder what's going on here, because that is the key moment where you have the man advantage. You should be able to actually at least trade 1 for 1. You'd win your team the round if you trade 1 for 1 there. What a spray from Dennis.
That's so beautiful, isn't it? Like, well done on Dennis' part. But after this, they're in a 3 versus 5, and yeah, you see the reaction coming out from the Mouse Sports team there. And Dennis sort of a deep sigh, saying, "Did so much."
Give me so much. That's the only reason the team was in the round.
Yeah.
After that, all of his teammates just like, guys, please. 6-7, and now, well, Mouse Sports, it's forced by territory. Time to get in here and just start buying up, because you've run out of time, you've run out of space. Early 3 players over on B for Mouse Sports, though. A little bit of the challenge.
I'm fine with them forcing. I wish they were a bit aggressive here. I think that's important. He needs to be that. He's missing the shot again, but if you buy that AWP, you sort of have to go and look for a kill with it. And now that Gambit have heard it on this side of the map, they're going to push the other side instead.
Yeah, he took one last shot before rotating off, but I think he needed to rotate just a little bit quicker there for Oscar, because now he's going to be a little late to the party over here on A. As they start to execute Gambit, they're going to get more and more comfortable. And they've left Arch intentionally open. Oscar, now's the time to hit the shot.
Could be very dangerous. He's going to try for the shot, but those are very hard to hit, and he's not going to be able to do it this time. 40 seconds left. They've heard the orb, so they know exactly where he is. They've got a very good read. I think Gambit knows exactly what's going on in this round. Rob's again close with the pistol. Very good at that. Dennis making it work. Rob's taking down Mo, and Oscar to finish the round. It's flawless from Mouse Sports. Unbelievable. Man, someone is going to have to buy Dennis a beer later on or something. These couple of rounds have just been amazing for him. Rob's as well with 13 kills, tied with Seuss on the other team.
You know who else is shouting unbelievable? This is unbelievable, because they literally have everybody from Gambit literally standing on top of like 4 players from Mouse Sports on that A site. 30 seconds left, and they still haven't found an opening kill?
Yeah.
Like, where is Mouse Sports? Are they all ninjas now all of a sudden? Can we just not see them?
Just hiding all the way in the back there. Those close range pistols, the 5.7, the P250, one shot and on Inferno, I mean, almost all of the corners are going to be like that.
Yeah.
So having someone like Robs who can just knock it open, that's very hard to deal with. That's where you really need to use Molotovs to burn out everything that's close range, but that's easier said than done.
No, we've got a battle now. This is a full back from Sports, double AWP in play once again, but it's going to be the force coming in from Gambit. They only have a single AK to work with. And so now, it looks like it is going to be the 5 players ready to go here on the A site. That perfectly timed Molotov, though, up in apartments.
so perfectly timed because the smoke's are already in from the middle. So they sort of have to do something. Now the whole push is really disjointed. Like they're not really getting the right timing. Oscar hitting one, Dennis and Laura hitting in. And it's just slightly falling apart for Gambit. Still a 2-on-3, but Adren is on 5 health.
And they've got bomb control here. And that's why Doja has to work his way back over here with that AK. Adrian hoping that somebody's going to overstep towards Library Arch. You've got 30 seconds. That isn't a whole lot of time here. You need to find a kill to create some space with the bomb sitting right in the middle of T. And that's eventually going to mean Adrian's death. Doja 1v3, and little does he know, you've got Christian at the bottom of mid waiting for the shot, and there we go. Perfectly done from Mouse Sports. Last 2 rounds of this half, they managed to make it work. They come out ahead 8-7 on CT side Inferno. Not too shabby.
Yeah, this is a very workable scoreline. I think it's really impossible to predict who's going to end up winning now, but just a job well done. 7 rounds for Gambit, and they had a streak of winning 6 in a row. That in itself is sort of crazy, but yeah, I'm kind of excited now. I feel like in the beginning it looked like Mouse Sports was just going to run away with everything. We were going to have one of those games in our hands, but
you get that CT lockdown, and I think it's just nerves. Nerves started jingling and jangling, and people started missing shots on Mouse Sports. And all of a sudden, you've got Gambit sitting at 7 rounds going into the second half. But if Mouse Sports win this pistol, I think the pressure is really going to ramp up here for Gambit.
Well, if you are just tuning in, if you manage to stumble into this broadcast, then you're watching the first map of the PGL Major. And it's Mouse Sports versus Gambit. And it's already been electrifying, and it's absolutely only getting better throughout the day. We've got so much coming away. Another 7 best of ones today.
Yep.
There's a lot of counter happening. We're still in the group stage, obviously. And now, second half is coming up here. Mouse Sports on the T side.
Yeah, this is almost playing out exactly as it did in the first half. Adrian somehow, no headshots for you this time, Oscar. No kills. He gets snuffed early on here, but Doja did exactly what Dennis did on the A side, jumping through apartments, checking second mid, checking mid, right? A little bit of a fadeaway there, and then you take the fight at Banana. It's just both of these teams just mirroring each other on how they're approaching their CT sides and the pistols.
Great win for Gambit to get that early kill. They've stacked 3 on the B bomb site, 2 on A, so Mouse Sports could still find a way to come through with a win here. Trying to do it early on, and the headshot raining in this time on Mo, but Doja in the pit. He's going to take one. They're getting close. Robs will get that kill unbelievably. I hope we see that from his point of view. And now it's a 3-on-3. The bomb has gone down, and Mouse Sports are now back in the driving seat until Seuss picks up Dennis. Just a bit of his head showing on top of that box. That's one hell of a headshot. And now it's Robs and Chris.
Not needing to overextend, but Adrian finds drops, and it's on Chris now to hold it. He's got a 7 HP, needs to charge forward and look for the fight. Adrian was very low as well on 8 HP. That could have been a different situation, but Hobbit, he was so close by. Just an impossible situation there for Chris, unfortunately for him, getting instantly headshot down.
Yeah, but he did the right thing. I think if you're stuck in the corner and you just wait for them to close in, you're not going to win. Like, he should have probably tried to fight that, otherwise he would have almost certainly been dead anyway. Mouse Sports winning the pistol. Scoreline is looking... Oh, sorry, Gambit winning the pistol. Scoreline is tied up. 8-8. And look at what Mouse Sports are buying. They realize, wait a minute, Seuss, we can play that game too.
Exactly, right. It's actually just taking advantage of the pistol, and they've gone a 1-up as well. They've actually managed to pick up 2 AKs on Mouse Sports' side. The thing is, the difference here, we're seeing Mo with the scout. Misses the shot completely, puts it right into the wall. A little bit of jittery there.
But he hears the AK, and that's so valuable. Now Gambit are alert. Like, they should definitely think about saving as many grenades as possible here. This is interesting. And Mouse Sports don't have really money to buy for the next round, so this is sort of more of an all-in as to Gambit, who sort of, bought 1 AK and then bought in the next round anyway. That's a nice headshot. That's what you want to see.
Can Lowell pick up that second AK? It's going to be Rops, but he doesn't have Kevlar, so I'd like to see that handed over to Lowell. Sure enough, that's exactly what's going to happen, making sure that when they drop it, it doesn't make any noise. Now, well, it's going to be the gather rush straight onto the B side, it looks like, here from Mouse Sports. Bit of the run and gun. They've got 2 smokes, and so they can at least set up the coils, or the coffins now, smoke and the CT smoke. Get those 2 down, Molotov into the back corner, and just run onto the site. Get in there, boys.
Good little... The spray to the smoke is got here from Adren. Look at the damage being output here. Hobbit's gonna have to fall back, but that's perfectly fine. Just go for the retake with the whole team. There's a grenade in the hand of Susan. The boost up, gets a quick double. And Lowell right here. Lowell gets one headshot. Oscar with the second. And now it's all on Oscar. He's done a great job so far, but he doesn't expect the double peak coming in. And it's going to be the round for Gambit.
Plenty of time. And just making sure that no an ACS is possible here. Don't run away before the bomb goes. Don't let the guy with the kit defuse the bomb. This is a lesson we learned this weekend.
Yeah, why you have to bring that up, Sumler? That was physically painful to watch.
It was agony. It was actual agony. I think you could feel it through, like, transmitted through the screen. You know, Finesse's face at that point. Yep. Well, you know, NA just need to keep improving, right? They just need to keep showing that anything is possible in this game. You know.
Ooh, well, listen, we've got Cloud9 in this tournament, and
no pressure.
I personally feel like they've been playing very well. I'm super impressed by them. So I actually have really high hopes for Cloud9 to go far in this.
They should make it top 8 here. Now, whether they go deeper than that, that's going to be the real question. But I mean, you can't really take Cloud9 lightly. The only issue here is that, you know, I think the teams were kind of taking Cloud9 lightly, and now, well, you go that deep in Cologne. Okay, time to take you a bit more seriously here for the major. So it's going to be a question of whether or not Cloud9 can actually step up to the challenge here at the major versus the best in the world.
Yes, indeed. A quick tactical timeout, and then we will be back in the game in just a second here. The scoreline being 9-8 in favor of Gambit. Winning that round is obviously really big for them, and I'm curious how Mouse Sports will respond. It seems like Gambit are going to have a pretty good start to their CT side as well. Oh, and would you look at that?
Why not?
So this is where Gambit had, you know, Galils and AKs to actually fight with, and Mouse Sports heavy in the last round. They have just, you know, bought a bit less in this one, but still not bad. Still definitely winnable.
Time to go all in.
Oh, is it going to be the flashbang from the middle? So the fact that Chris is in there and he's got the double flash and everyone is in the apartment, it's sort of at least some sort of a giveaway that they could be trying to set up for sort of the rush out of apartments with 3 people coming out.
A lot of nades getting used up in apartments, though. It's not going to leave a whole whacking lot here for Gambit, but the smoke goes down to buy a little bit more time. And Chris, is he aware that they have pushed down Banana this quickly? Because Hobbit is now just going to be camping here, waiting.
Trying to find the right timing. Chris, I think, made a bit of noise jumping up, so Hobbit probably would have heard that. Yeah, every time he does this, Hobbit is, you know, sort of saying, well, there's at least one in sort of mid somewhere. There's the flashbang close in. Actually, they're not going to come out of apartments. Instead, they just want to take that top mid control. That's kind of interesting.
Forcing Gambit back, denying Gambit information. It's gonna, you can see from the positioning here now, balcony, pit, and then holding in front of library. Gambit are pretty much as far back as you can get. And so they're looking for that element of surprise here, but it doesn't look like it's going to work because Hobbit playing for information is pushed Banana. He got out of it. He's shooting Chris in the back, and he's going to find the kill eventually, and that just throws everything out of whack here for Mouse Sports. Rotation has already come in from Adren. Now this is it. He's going to have a field day.
Lowell and Oscar with a couple of refrags, and range fighting going on. Dennis will take down Hobbit. It falls apart with only 12 seconds left there. It looked like maybe Gambit could have been playing for time and just trying to wait until they actually get that bomb plant in there, but Mouse Sports with a remarkable job, and that's going to really throw a wrench in the works here.
Okay, that's just because they go straight apartments and short. They don't even care about library. They just go straight in onto the A site as a group, as a unit there. That's really what made the difference for Mouse Sports, because Gambit, that's the kind of round where it kind of makes you sick to your stomach if you're Gambit, where you're just like, man, you know, we had everything going for us here. We knew where they were coming from. We got the first kill on Chris. And so the pressure is on for Mouse Sports, and we still can't hold.
And to be honest, Gambit have done a really good job delaying the apartment side with Grenade. Like, they had a Molotov down at like 28 seconds in apartments. That's very hard to deal with, except Mouse Sports didn't care. It's like, that's not a problem for us because we've got 3 men pushing quad, so by all means, use all your grenades in apartments. It's not really going to matter that much to us. It'll only slow down one person and not even that much.
Yep. Let's see it. Through the smoke, maybe, or just as the smoke clears? It's going to be through the smoke, a little bit of the Fnatic here.
The season 45. Doja will pick up 1 kill as well. Mouse Sports, you made it through the smoke and then you kept on pushing. Now Adren moving in behind to take down Lowell. Trying for a second shot, just blind through. Oscar with the kill, going for a second spray, but Rob's going to win the fight. It's all on Robs, and he's going to get one at least. Got the grenade out, and he's down to 12 health here. Gambit, if they steal this round back, Mouse Sports are going to be furious.
Absolutely, but they've got a little bit of the mind game going. He's making good use of his time here, Rops. Running back to B, making them second-guess themselves, and he's succeeded in splitting them up. Now he's got a duel. He's got a series of duels that he gets to work with here, and so it's a matter of finding Doja. Good bit of utility here on Rops as well, and so he could get a Molotov out if he wants, but he definitely does not want to be swapping anything out. He wants to have that gun in hand at all times to check all of these angles, make sure that he finds the headshot if the chance is there, and I'm pretty sure he spotted the gun barrel, and so Doja is up. Oh, misses the shot! Doja stepping out, the X-God ruining it for Rops.
Oh, you hate to see that. Just look at his face. He had everything working out so well. The gun barrel was all he needed to take that shot. Admittedly, that was going to be a hard 2v1 regardless, but he actually played it very well.
Dude, Hobbit had like 10 HP.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like then it's anybody's round at that point. If it's a 1v1, he needs to find Doja. And again, this time it's Mouse Sports. So like, well, we had the info, and we just couldn't actually capitalize on it.
Second tactical timeout from our sports being called. I think that's not such a bad idea. Gambit looking interesting right now. They just need to start that economy rolling somehow. How can they actually cement that part of the game? Because that's still lacking at the moment.
This is where it starts, Anders. It looks like Mouse Sports, they're getting cold too.
Yeah.
It is time now to just simply go for the hardy, go through on Mouse Sports, and this is going to be, should be the feel-good round here for Gambit, where they can actually breathe a little bit. You've got 2 UMPs, get those UMPs in play, start farming up some cash. You really, if you're Gambit at this point, double nade onto Oscar, no hiding, no safe place. Everybody alive right now if you're Gambit.
Throwing fire.
Super aggressive. That works too.
As long as they don't lose too many rifles. That's such a great aim from Adren.
HP on Hobbit.
Yeah, it's the spray transition into tapping. Like, that's the recoil goes all over the place when you try and do that, but apparently not for Adren. He is such a beast on this particular team, and look at him, 19 kills.
Leading the way. Leading the way. That's exactly what you need from Adren here for Gambit to stand a chance.
Let's move out.
That's not a clean aim. Boom. It's art. It's art.
Yeah, that is not easy at all. 11-9. The only thing we're missing is one of those classic Adren winks into the camera.
Yeah.
We're very good at those as well. Maybe we can get one later on.
It's still early days, Anders.
Yes, indeed. It's going to play out. 2 UMPs, 1 scout, and 2 AKs on the Gambit side. So, sure, they've got a 2-round lead, but this is a weird fight that they've got going on right now. Mouse Sports could take full advantage of this.
Laying down smoke.
Instead, we're going into the default sort of approach here. Both teams just sitting and waiting. Who's going to win the duel first? It's not going to be anybody over on A. Gambit are holding way back, and we're not quite late enough in the round, especially when they are playing exactly this far forward on banana. They don't need to be taking too many risks. It's their teammates over here who are somehow going to get out nearly unscathed. All those bullets going through that smoke, and yet Doja, he's fine. Everybody's fine over here. That's unreal. Doja's fine. He's over in the pit.
It looked for a minute like it could get a bit scary. I think Chris saw the angle of the smoke when it came in, so he had an idea that someone was going to be by the tree, but now they're clearing out all of banana. This is all good for Mouse Sports. There's only one issue. It's the fact that there's 25 seconds left on the clock. That's a really big issue. Mouse Sports, not particularly well known for executing this late in the round. Hobbit up on the box as well with the UMP. Gets the kill on Chris, and now it's all falling apart. Mo with the Tech 9 kill opportunity again, and now the Hobbit with a 3rd headshot coming in. He's wrecking Mouse Sports. Going to be a 1 versus 5, and he goes down. No chance at all. That's such a strong defense being put up, and I think you could tell that Mouse Sports was like, hey, let's try and edge our way into the bomb site with 20 seconds. It's like, what if one grenade goes down, or what if Hobbit is there? Man, Hobbit is, I don't know, what a phenomenal player. 11-9, and he's got what, 14 kills or something at this point.
Yeah, he played that position perfectly as well. And you can see the frustration, I think, there from Chris J, starting to talk a little bit. But it's another round of eco here for Mouse Sports. With plenty more time, if you are Mouse Sports, to talk things over, because this is just going to be a bloodbath. Zeus will find his shot, Mo as well. So Chris, Lowell, and Rob still out here for Mouse Sports. Gambit are not afraid to use their utility here. They're just throwing nades left and right, not trying to get anything for the next round.
And being quite aggressive, just like in the previous round, sort of mentioning that a bit. Not giving any space for Mouse Sports to move around or anything to talk anything over. Dosha will get the last kill of the round, and that's 13 for Gambit Esports now with a 4-round lead in the first map of the PGL Major. That has to feel just great, and it was looking shaky for a while. Now it feels like they're in prime position to actually win this first map. They really haven't done it yet, and it can still change a lot, but I'm really liking what we're seeing here.
Oh, Oscar still topping out the ADR for Mouse Sports. It's always so weird with Oscar. It's like, you see him, you spectate him, either he hits the flicks or he doesn't, but then you start spectating somebody else, he just seems to find kills again, like under the radar, right? It's going to be the buy once again, and it looks like we're setting up for that mid flash. Oscar is going to be the one. Not even going to wait for the smoke. There's the HE. The timing is good. Flashing right through. Nobody there to greet him from Gambit, however. Lining him up with the EMP. 1, 2, and 3. Get out! Perfect hold from him, and that leaves it down, well, to Chris. 1v5.
In a really tragic way, Mouse Sports actually lost just like they did last time they tried that, and it's that flashbang. It's great for clearing out if anyone is like under the canopy or anything like that, but they want to push all the way around the corner. Like they keep pushing behind one flashbang. There's no chance that flashbang will keep someone blind forever.
They get the follow-up flash in. There was a follow-up flash, but it just doesn't blind Doja.
No, like I feel like it, and plus the counter smoke was out from Gambit, the one that's actually right at that corner where all the corpses are.
Yeah.
So once you see that, maybe you should be thinking, actually, let's just cancel this right away, because pushing through the spot, I just think you're putting too much faith in, even if it's 2 flashbangs. Like that's risky.
It's like an information flash, really. It's like either you force them off, and then you get top mid. Great, cool. Did you get a kill? No. Well, happened, bro. Snuffed.
Yeah, it's like if someone is close, maybe you flash and kill him. If no one is close, then you get, top mid. And then if you want to push around the corner, just set up more grenades, 14-9. Mouse Sports, some amount of trouble. As you can tell, they could buy 4 AKs and then maybe more realistically 2 AKs and a bunch of tech lines if they really wanted to go for it.
Do the tech 9s or do the UMPs?
Yeah, it's risky buying just AK head armor and then that's it.
Yeah, you need, unless you have some way to deal with the fact that Gambit are going to have all of the grenades to mess you up with, and you're going to have none. It's basically like, oh, just execute B, I guess. CT smoke and run. A bit of a chat going on right now. He's still looking positive there, coach, that is. LM talking a bit with Chris. Rops, though, somebody needs to give him a hug. He's doing a lot of humming and hawing and sighing over there right now. He needs to, I don't know, get a little bit more upbeat. You're not out of it yet.
Oh, definitely not. And actually, it'll be no AK, so just sort of going in the middle of the road here for Mouse Sports. They still have money for the next round, so they could fight for overtime, or they could just make this round work. Tech 9 armor is pretty classic, really. Okay.
Sick shot. 2 HP, now 1 HP on Robs, and they will eventually Adrian challenging these Tech 9s, and that's going to cost him. Chris J taking point, finds the 2 headshots, and sure enough, they will make this work, Mouse Sports. This is unreal. Some aggression from Gambit, and that just that cost them so much. Run up close, play aggressive versus Tech 9s. Yes.
And all the grenades that they put out to Banana were at the bottom of Banana, and half the Mouse Sports team were waiting right behind that wall, so... Wow, that's a really, really big return on investment for Mouse Sports.
Yeah, interesting decision from Gambit. And well, Mouse Sports, yeah, they can count their lucky stars because they went for the half buy. So the gamble pays off this time, Anders. Now they're going to win this round. They're going to save a bunch of rifles in the mix as well. And they don't even care about hunting Gambit at this point. Just keep what you've got. Make sure that you got a way out of the site. Save what you've got. And your economy, all of a sudden, it's completely revitalized.
Just because you said that, I have to point out that Doja has 12,000, Zeus has 12,000 after the...
Yeah, exactly.
There's so much money on Gambit that Mouse Sports are going to have to fight every step of the way to try and actually get that either win or overtime. Gambit are in a great position still, but that's obviously confidence building.
And they can go for the AWPs all day long if they want here, Mouse Sports. Those, I mean, they save so much money. Rops on 3,000, 4,600 on goal after buying. That's a feel-good moment here for Mouse Sports, and that should give them a little bit of a boost to their confidence. 10-14. Gambit still 2 points off, 2 rounds off the win in the first map of the major. And Oscar, he's just like, you're going to hang around again? We're going to look for this shot. If you want to take this duel, Mo, let's dance.
I mean, when Oscar's on point, you don't want to fight him too much either. He's...
mind games. They're setting up the mid-flash again. A little bit of misdirection here. That might keep Gambit guessing.
Oh, that's good job on Mo to re-peek it, though. You're right. That's what they do for the number of rounds. Banana spray comes in from Adren, and he's going to be a 2 big kills behind that. I think Zeus through the smoke, and Hopper will take down Dennis. Good communication, good play all around on the Gambit side here. Lowell and Oscar, 2 versus 5.
That's sick work.
Yeah, that's just I mean, that's something that I've been complaining about a lot. The lack of the retake of Top Banana.
It's, I mean, just replaying off of Mo's communication there, off of his information. There's nobody mid. They did not actually push here, guys. And so what's the instant reaction? Flash Top Banana, get some info there. And sure enough, it works out perfectly. Adren picks up 2 headshots, 2 kills, and it's match point now. 5 of them for Gambit. At Mouse Sports, they still have, because of that successful round, they still have money to get that AWP into Oscar's hands. And the Galil on Dennis. Double op on T-side. All right, then Mouse Sports, let's go. Let's see, what are they going to do?
That's a bold move, isn't it?
Interesting, right? Interesting.
What does Lowell have? Did they sacrifice? I think Lowell sacrificed everything to get that orb on Chris.
Yeah, he had the most.
Strange. Chris not going to make it work. Right away gets taken up by Mo. 4 more kills, and Gambit will pick up their first map here at the major. Obviously, a great way to get started. Swiss forward, obviously slightly more forgiving, but still gotta be careful. Ross almost with the lineup. Looked like he had the headshot right through. They need some sort of kill to get back in this round, Mouse Sports. They're fighting for overtime right now. They need 5 in a row. Oscar goes down to Mo, who started to step it up with the AWP now. It's not looking good at all. Dennis is going to get the kill on Low. Drops. Oh, sorry, Doja leaving just Dennis in a 1 versus 4 here. Going to pick up 1 kill, and you have to think there's almost no chance that he could do this. He's boxed in.
And sure enough, there it is. End days for Mouse Sports, at least here at the beginning. 16-10 victory for Gambit in their first match of the major. Mouse Sports, they're going to get into that 0-1 category where they will be playing against a team who loses, right? You can only play against teams that have the same score as you, right? And so Gambit will have a little bit more of a difficult match tomorrow.
Inferno, really interesting map. Usually we see so many sort of late rounds in this one where it goes to, like, you know, plus 25 rounds, and saw a really great showing here. I think this could have been all 30 rounds as well. The really deciding difference is that Gambit had so much money at the end, and that's actually what Mouse Sports didn't have. Because when Gambit won their first 6 rounds or 5 rounds or whatever it was on the T side, that just broke the Mouse Sports economy. Gambit never had to deal with the same sort of thing. So absolutely beautiful counter-strike coming out of them. And we said we haven't seen very much out of the Gambit team for a while. They've been sort of absent, and I know someone was posting this on Reddit saying, you know, how many hours people have played, and Gambit has so many. They've really been stepping up.
Anders, but like these hours things, like I know for a fact that half of Gambit just leave CS logged in as well. So you actually have no way of knowing, like, is he actually playing or not? Sorry, let's.
But you can tell when people have too low. I think actually it's a pretty good indicator if you know precisely how much it is, and you can always talk to people as well.
Oh yeah. Zeus is legendary for that. He just leaves it logged in like 20. Yeah. Oh, but he has 180 hours.
Well, I think people can do the math and figure out that's not true.
Come on, guys.
Still think it's an interesting indication. All right, well, we're going to go to the desk and figure out what the panelists have to say. Let's take it over to Paul.